Raven Lazuli by Dante Galicia. Once upon a time, in a forest where the trees whispered secrets and the wind carried stories, there was a crow named Raven Lazuli. But Raven wasn't like any other crow. She was born with feathers that sparkled in the most unusual shade of blue, a blue that reminded everyone of the sky just before the stars came out. Her mother looked at her daughter with deep, thoughtful eyes. "You are different," she said softly, "but perhaps that is a good thing, or perhaps it is a trouble." The other crows in the forest were curious but cautious. They had never seen anything like it. A blue crow was a strange thing indeed. The other birds in the trees whispered about Raven Lazuli. What could it mean? Was she special? Was she destined for something extraordinary or something dangerous? No one knew. Raven Lazuli grew up feeling a little lonely. She didn't mind the silence too much. The wind always had stories to tell her. But she couldn't help but wonder why she was different from the other crows. Why didn't her feathers match the others? And why did she feel as though there was something more to her life, something hidden just out of reach? Time passed, and one day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the forest in a deep shade of purple, Raven Lazuli decided to leave the safety of her familiar tree. She took off into the dusky sky, feeling the cool wind against her wings. She didn't know where she was going, but something tugged at her, something that felt both magical and mysterious. The wind grew stronger, pushing her forward, and soon she found herself flying beyond the familiar trees, toward the heart of the enchanted forest. Here, the trees were older, their bark knotted and twisted, their branches stretching toward the heavens as though trying to touch the stars. It was a place where no crow had dared to go. The air was thick with magic. At the center of the forest stood a towering tree, ancient, its roots deep in the earth, its branches high in the sky. Raven Lazuli perched on one of its branches and felt a quiet stillness wash over her. She was not alone. A voice, soft and wise as the earth itself, filled the air. Raven Lazuli. It said, "You have flown far. You have come to seek the truth of who you are, haven't you?" Raven Lazuli nodded, though she hadn't planned to speak. "I want to understand," she said quietly, her voice a mix of hope and uncertainty. The voice sighed, as if it had been waiting for this question for a long time. "You were born with feathers of blue, and blue, as you must know, is the color of the sky, the color of the magic that binds the world together. But there is a shadow in the forest, a creature born from fear and doubt. The shadow crow. He fears your light, Raven Lazuli. He believes that your difference will break the world." Raven Lazuli's heart beat faster. "But I don't want to break anything," she said. "I just want to understand." The voice was kind, yet solemn. The shadow crow must be faced. Only when you confront him will you see the true magic within you, the magic that is meant to heal, not harm. You must go to him, and you must be brave. And so, Raven Lazuli flew once more, her wings cutting through the air as the wind whispered behind her. She flew deep into the forest, where the trees grew closer together, their gnarled branches blocking out the light. The shadows seemed to curl and twist, as though they were alive. Raven Lazuli felt a coldness in the air, and then she saw him. The shadow crow was unlike anything she had imagined. His feathers were not black, but a deep, shifting grey that seemed to blend with the shadows themselves. His eyes glowed red, like embers in the night. He was the embodiment of fear, of doubt, of everything that Raven Lazuli had never understood. Raven Lazuli took a deep breath, her heart racing. The shadow crow's piercing gaze felt like an icy wind cutting through her, but she stood tall. Her wings unfurled, her blue feathers gleaming even in the dim light of the shadowed forest. The shadow crow laughed, a low, echoing sound that seemed to rattle the very air around them. "So, you are the one they speak of," he said. "The one with the blue feathers. What makes you think you can challenge me, Raven Lazuli? You may have beauty, but beauty alone is no match for the darkness that I command." Raven Lazuli narrowed her eyes. "Beauty is not all I have," she replied, her voice steady but full of strength. "I may not understand everything yet, but I know that darkness is not the answer. Fear and doubt cannot rule the world. I have to believe that there's more to life than that." The shadow crow's eyes flared, the red glow intensifying. "You talk of life, of light, but you are foolish. The world is not meant to be whole. It is meant to be in balance. There can be no light without dark. You cannot destroy what is part of the world itself." Raven Lazuli's wings trembled as she fought to hold her ground. She felt the weight of his words, balance, but deep down, she knew something important. "Balance doesn't mean accepting the evil that tries to consume us," she said firmly. "It means knowing when to fight to protect what is pure and good. You cannot live in peace with darkness. Sometimes it must be destroyed." The shadow crow's laugh turned into a chilling growl. "You are naive," he hissed. "You think you can defeat me? I am the embodiment of all that holds the world together. Without me, there would be no understanding, no growth. It is the darkness that teaches the light. But it is the light that brings healing," Raven Lazuli retorted. "And I am not afraid of you. I may not know everything yet, but I know that your kind of darkness, fear, hatred, doubt, is not meant to be embraced. It must be vanquished, or it will swallow everything whole." The shadow crow flapped his wings, creating a vortex of shadow that spiraled around them. "Then prove it," he snarled. "Prove that you are worthy of the magic you carry. Only if you can best me will you truly understand your purpose." Raven Lazuli's feathers glowed brighter as she felt the magic within her stir. It was not just the sky, not just the stars. It was something deeper. Her wings began to glow with a brilliant light, and she felt wisdom filling her, an understanding of the world's true nature. She was part of something bigger than herself, something that could heal and restore, not something that sought to destroy for the sake of power. With a determined cry, she spread her wings wide, the light within her growing stronger. The shadow wrapped around her like tendrils, but Raven Lazuli didn't back down. I may be different, but that is my strength. I carry the light within me, and I will not let you rule over it. With a mighty push, she summoned all her strength and will, and the light from her wings shattered the darkness. The shadow crow screeched, his form crumbling as the light of her magic overpowered him. But even as he fell, he hissed, "You cannot rid the world of darkness forever. It will always return." Raven Lazuli looked down at the fallen shadow. "Perhaps," she said, "but I will always fight it, because the world deserves light and truth, not fear and lies." As the last remnants of the shadow crow dissolved into the air, Raven Lazuli felt a deep sense of peace settle over her. She had proven that the wisdom of life, of light, could overcome darkness, not by accepting it, but by fighting it with all the strength of her being. And so, she returned to the heart of the enchanted forest, where the voice once again spoke to her. "You have passed the test, Raven Lazuli. You have learned that true wisdom is not in accepting evil, but in standing against it with courage. Your magic is now complete. You have discovered your purpose, to protect the light, to nurture the good, and to never, ever make peace with darkness." Raven Lazuli's wings shimmered brightly as she flew back to the forest, knowing that her journey was just beginning. There would be more shadows to face, more challenges to meet, but she was no longer alone. The wisdom of life, the light that came from understanding and courage, would always guide her. And so, Raven Lazuli, the blue crow, became a legend, a symbol of hope and endless strength, reminding everyone that the light inside them, no matter how small or hidden, can always chase away the darkest shadows. That's why, when you think no one is watching and your quiet victories go unnoticed, you might suddenly see a flash of sapphire blue wings in the sky. It's Raven Lazuli, flying by to take care of your beautiful light, making sure it will shine forever, bright and strong, over the dark, and making sure that your victory was definitely noticed. The end.
The moral of Raven Lazuli. The blue crow is that embracing your uniqueness and inner light helps overcome fear and doubt. It teaches that darkness should be confronted, not accepted, and that courage, wisdom, and standing firm in your values lead to victory over adversity. The story reminds us that the light within us can always overcome the darkest challenges. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to these stories. I truly hope you've enjoyed them and are excited for more. If this tale touched your heart, you can bring it home with the printed book, where you'll personally meet the protagonist and discover even more special surprises waiting inside. Your support means the world to me and helps me continue sharing stories with you. Click the link to get your copy now. And always remember, The world is filled with tales, but the most wonderful tale is yours. See you soon, Shao.